The one subject that I could never seem to escape, and the ones that everybody always wants to hear from me, is about marriage. I don't know why, but let me talk to you. You know, I don't really understand it, really. You guys want to hear mostly about marriage and raising children these days. It's the most common question and most thing asked to me. I don't know why it is that I really don't necessarily like talking about it. I think it's just because what I've been through in my life, there's been a lot of grace, love, and forgiveness in the scenarios that I've been in. And they haven't been good, don't get me wrong, a massive pain. But at the same time, I've really stuck with forgiveness to go on with my life and not stay in the same place. I think mostly why the question is asked about marriage and raising of children so much is because it's probably the target of the enemy these days. Rip and tear the family completely apart. Make sure that children are not educated so that when they are raised that they're completely manipulated by the earth or by the world, and they can twist and change the way that they think easily. No great foundation. And if you don't have a good marriage, you don't have a good foundation for your children, they go hand in hand. You have to give everything that you've got to your marriage so that your children go, oh, that's how you do it. I remember my mother and my father. Or I remember my mother and my stepfather, or my stepmother and my father. They remember these things and go, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. I remember this. Where does my help, my strength, my joy, my peace, my patience, my kindness, my gentleness, my self-control, where does it come from? Jesus. So when you have a many year relationship, so many right now that I know of have been 20, 25 years, are coming to an end. Oh. Awful. How do you have the level of selfishness after all those years of having children, of being there for the sick in your family, being there for your wife or your husband, being there for when they're sick, almost to the place where you have to kind of wipe their butt because they're so sick. You give each other all kinds of sicknesses. You wake each other up. You make each other's things to eat. You know what they love. You know what they love to drink. You know what they love to have for breakfast, what they love for dessert. They know that they need this much salt and not that much pepper, but no pepper here and a little bit of salt here. You know and love that time that they smile so big when that one particular thing that they love so much is shown in front of their face. The joy that you had with each child. And you watched them grow up. And you laughed your butt off at the different things that character did. All to end. All to end because you're bored. Or it's not there anymore. You want to explore. You want new things. You want this new feelings. You want to feel this new embrace of another person. You want to know what it feels like. Because this other person I'm tired of them. I'm annoyed by them. I don't find them sexy anymore. I find them stinky. And when they roll out of bed, for whatever reason, I'm just like, nothing. Something new, huh? There are some people that have remarried and remarried and remarried that are listening to my voice right now going, what the heck did I ever do with myself? How did I ever convince myself that things were going to be better in the arms of someone else? It's pride. If you get to the place where you're entertaining your mind and your heart with someone else while you're being married, I have something to tell you. If you're not being abused and that you're not experiencing other kinds of abuse, if you're not being completely taken over, sucked the life out of, and you have a bad scenario where it gets to the place where it's extremely damaging to you and your children, let me tell you something. You have fallen asleep at the wheel. Your heart has fallen asleep, and you've consumed yourself with yourself. You want something new. There is nothing new. It is a temporary thing. You just feel, oh, this is great. I have this new person, these new lips, these new hugs, these new different things. And you notice, I miss this thing about this person. I wish they had this. If they had this, then our relationship would be 100% complete. The one factor that if you decide I am not going to do this with the one that I've been laying next to for the last 20 to 25 years, you have rejected your next one as well. You have rejected your next marriage immediately, or your next relationship immediately. Because you are not in it for absolute love. You are not in it for selfless love. You're not in it for the things that actually make the world go round and make the world heal. You have fallen asleep. You've allowed your thoughts, your selfish ambitions, and your selfish desires to get in the way. You took focus off of loving the one that's supposed to be the number one person in your life. Maybe that you put your children ahead of this person, which is dead wrong. That other person, that husband or that wife that you dedicated your life, if you put your children in front of them, if you put your children over them, you have made a grave mistake. Children are temporary in your home. Your husband or your wife are permanent. If you reject that one, if you reject the one that you've loved so dearly, if you reject that person out of absolute pride, let me tell you the rest of your life and what it's going to be like. You want confusion? You think you're confused now? You ain't seen nothing yet. I know people that have made that great mistake. Some of them have lost their mind. Some of them can never have a good relationship. If they're lucky to find someone to love them back, the road to get to the place that everything is going to be okay, just that, not actually okay, but the road to get to be okay, is so difficult. Is so breaking down of your system. You just feel like you're going to die sometimes. But finally, you may be able to have somebody that puts up with your crap. And that's what this is all about. Your crap. Don't give up on your marriage. Do not do it. Capiche?